And banking aside, like any product or service you're buying, like I've come to appreciate more and more that like when shit hits the fan, like having somebody to call. And me and you have riffed on this before. Like you want to have somebody who's going to help you solve the problem, not just like give you the product or service. And this came up in actually my personal life recently because we have homeowners insurance, and like the rate that came back, just because like apparently everywhere in the world's a flood zone now, it was like 50% higher. And so I start doing like research, and I go into like Lemonade, which is like lower cost. And I send the quote to the guy, and he said, CJ, I'm not even going to try to compete with that if you're just going for lowest cost. If you want someone who's going to pick up the phone if something happens, go with us. And that was like closed deal. I was like, I'm just going to go with you.
By the way, highly recommend that. Living in Hoboken, we've been flooded out twice. So having a good person would have been very handy.
Megan, you've told me that software is great, but you need a human relationship when something goes wrong. Have you had people throughout your banking career pick up the phone and be like, I knew that I'd need you at some point. This is it. I'm calling it a favor.
Oh my God. That's D-Day, my friend. That is March 16th, 2023. When I was working for HSBC, we were in London for our venture debt offsite because at that point in time, we only had, I think, a handful of customers, but very lucrative customers because our venture debt strategy was very different than the one they have now. And we were doing a roundtable discussion that weekend when SVB failed. I personally, because I was running originations at the time globally, had 279 emails and phone calls directly to me and my personal cell to say, hey, how quickly can we open a bank account? So I think that kind of was the day that I realized, wow, all right, I guess all of the work does make sense for how much time I put into cultivating relationships, since they kept my number and were able to find me even when I was in London.
Run the Numbers is a mostly LLC production. Yelling an intro by Fat Joe. Artwork by some AI thingamajig. Podcast and video editing is done by Cleancast at cleancast.io. Nothing said on this podcast is intended to be business or investment advice. It's the sole opinion of me, a guy who feeds his dog too much ice cream and has a history of net operating losses, LOL. If you like this podcast, please hit subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And also check out mostlymetrics.com. That's my newsletter where I explore business models and financial metrics. Thanks for riding with me. Share this with your friends. Peace.